Hello, American Patriots. Douglas Ducote here. As you already know by now, the Democrats are going to move forward with impeachment of President Trump, with just a few more days left before the 20th. In their minds, if they can impeach him, then he cannot ever run for office again. The person leading this charge is Representative Ilhan Omar. She is the Muslim from Somalia that swore in to Congress and took an oath with her hand on the Quran, not the Bible. I want to read to you directly from Ilhan Omar's website. It's posted right now if you'd like to go look at it. It says the following. Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrat, Minnesota, today unveiled a privileged resolution to impeach President Donald J. Trump for high crimes and misdemeanors. It's co-led by Representatives David Saline, Ted Lieu, Al Green, Hank Johnson, Anita Presley, Rashid Tlaib, she's the other Muslim that swore into Congress with her hand on the Quran, Vicente Gonzalez, Jamel Bowman, Maudria Jones, Victoria Escobar, AOC Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Cori Bush. She goes on to say, Donald Trump remains the single greatest threat to our democracy. Every day that he remains in the office of the presidency, overseeing the United States military and nuclear arsenal, is a day the safety of the American people and the world are threatened. The very administration officials who have been complicit in the crimes cannot be relied upon. We must impeach and remove him from office immediately so that he cannot threaten our democracy and the world any longer or hold public office ever again. Congress should reconvene immediately to carry out this constitutional duty. After 4 years of lies, misinformation, and abuse of power, that all came to a head in a treasonous and violent conduct, we in Congress are left with no choice but to impeach for a second time, said Representative Johnson. Orchestrating a mob to overthrow Congress and the government violates and subverts his duties as commander-in-chief and leaves us no choice but to act. Donald Trump's present and clear direct threat to our democracy and national security and yesterday's acts of white supremacy, domestic terrorism on the U.S. Capitol incited by Trump himself, is further evidence of the danger he presents, said Representative Presley. Our nation cannot afford one more day with Trump in office. He must immediately be impeached by the House of Representatives and removed from office by the United States Senate. We must act with the urgency to defend our republic. I've called for the impeachment and removal of Donald Trump since the day I arrived in Washington, D.C., said Representative Tlaib. As a matter of fact, her exact words were, "We're going to impeach the motherfucker." Look it up. It's all over YouTube. She went on to say Donald Trump is a tyrant and has continued to endanger and bring harm upon the people of the United States. The attack on the Capitol was a continuation of Trump's destructive reign in this country. He must be impeached again, removed, and barred from ever holding public office again. We cannot wait and hope a peaceful transition of power happens on the 20th. Trump and his supporters have already displayed that peace is nowhere in their minds. It's time for us to act. Donald Trump incited a violent mob to descend upon the legislative branch, all in an attempt to overturn the results of a free and fair election and undermine the integrity of our democracy Representative Jones said. We must ensure that this is nothing more than a last grasp of Donald Trump and his Republican co-conspirators in the House and Senate. That's why I'm proud to join my colleagues in calling for impeachment. Hundreds of Donald Trumps in the Republican Party seek to ascend to a higher office, and we must send them a message that no one is above the law. Except Democrats. On January 6, 2021, President Trump encouraged individuals who traveled to Washington, District of Columbia, to violently attack the United States Capitol while both chambers of Congress were in session. After those supporters had violently breached the Capitol, he put out a further statement repeating his false claims of election fraud and telling the members of the mob, "We love you. You're very special." Additionally, on January 2nd, 2021, President Trump violated his constitutional duty to uphold the laws of the United States when, on a recorded call, he repeatedly asked Georgia Secretary of State Brian Raffensperger to overturn the finalization and verified results of the November 2020 presidential election in the state of Georgia. President Trump misused the powers of his office by threatening an elected official with unspecified consequences if he failed to pursue the president's false claims and attempting to coerce an elected official to commit fraud. All of this is on Ilhan Omar's website right this very moment. Now, with what I just read to you, let's talk about what actually did President Trump say when everything was going sideways in Washington, D.C. Oh, look, I have it right here. He tweeted, "Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful." That was on 1/6/2021 at 1:38 p.m. At 2:13 p.m., he tweeted, "I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you." Now, please explain to me, Ilhan Omar, Anita Presley, Rashid Tlaib, and all the rest of you far-left Democrat nut jobs, where in the hell does the president incite violence and overthrow of Congress? He didn't do it. You're a damn liar. And sadly, you have CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox News putting out your false information about President Donald J. Trump. So, let's talk about Ilhan Omar a little bit more on something that's not a lie. Something that you can see right here on YouTube or anywhere else on the net. You can go back and look at videos I've already done about her talking about this exact same thing. And this is what really pisses off military veterans to no end. Ilhan Omar said that living in America is like an everyday assault and that she feels demoralized, threatened, and vilified. And those are some hard words from a woman that comes from Somalia. Yet, the same Somalia where brave American soldiers suffered 26 years ago. And for what? So that an immigrant from Somalia can humiliate them while serving in Congress? The United States Army was the villain in the Black Hawk Down incident in Somalia, U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrat, Minnesota, wrote in a 2017 Twitter post. She was responding to a tweet that falsely described the 1993 Battle of Mogadishu and the worst terrorist attack in Somalia history. The original tweet noted that 19 American soldiers were killed and 73 American soldiers were wounded. In his selective memory, the writer forgets to also mention that thousands of Somalians by the American forces that day were killed, Ilhan Omar wrote. Hashtag not today, Satan. Omar's attack on U.S. soldiers involved in the Black Hawk Down incident appears to have gone unnoticed. None of the mainstream media cared. Her tweet saying that thousands of Somalians were killed by the American forces was exaggerated, the Somali death toll, and omitted important context of what actually happened. It completely missed the point of the U.S. involvement in Somalia, said retired Chief Warrant Officer Mike Durrant, who was shot down in Mogadishu on October 3rd, 1993, and held captive by the militia loyal to the Somali warlord, told an investigative project on terrorism. The U.S. military was in Somalia as part of a humanitarian mission to save starving Somalians and protect food and aid from being stolen by warrant factions. Somalia casualty count varied dramatically, in part due to the nature of the battle, but few credible estimates placed the figure anywhere near the thousands Omar said were killed. Only 133 Somalian military men died in the fighting, with U.S. Rangers and Delta Force soldiers. Captain Haad, H-A-A-D, a representative for the Somali National Alliance, said in a 2001 interview with Arthur Mark Bonin, he estimated 500 Somali deaths in his book Black Hawk Down, A Story of Modern War. Considering the defiant account of the Battle of Mogadishu, others put the Somali death toll closer to 1,000. A 2000 RAND Corporation report estimated 300 non-combatants were killed. Omar's family fled the Somali Civil War, initially taking refuge in Kenya before making it to the United States in 1995. This is just one of many cases where she attacked our country. Her comments for 9/11 are still fresh. Ilhan Omar has still refused to call the 9/11 terrorist a terrorist attack. She said some people did something, and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties. We have a woman that hates our country and is part of our Congress. That is true hatred. That coming from a woman that is ungrateful for the fact that she and her family were rescued and brought to America to live in peace. And now she's a member of our United States Congress and is leading the charge to impeach President Donald J. Trump. That is absolutely sad and disgusting. The fact that our Department of Justice, our FBI, no one has spoken out to condemn her of her tweets and the things she has said that are damning to American forces. It's absolutely appalling. It's sad. It should never be allowed to happen. The real dangers in America are not Donald J. Trump. The real dangers in America are the far left, the liberal Democrats, and people like Ilhan Omar and Rashid Tlaib, who took an oath to protect and defend our Constitution, took an oath to uphold our Constitution, and instead of swearing to God, took the oath swearing to Allah with their hand on the Quran. And Allah, for those of you just joining, doesn't support anything American. In fact, they're taught that we are the evil on planet Earth. Those that look further into the Quran and take it word for word, view it as kill the infidels. That would be Americans. She does not like us. She does not like our country. Neither does Rashid Tlaib. Neither does AOC or Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer. And the list goes on and on and on. It's a sad time in American history, what we are watching unfold right now. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders, their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families, our president, and our country. God bless you, and I'll be seeing you really, really soon. If you haven't already done so, please go to DouglasDucote.com and sign up. If you're on DouglasDucote.com already, thank you. Thank you for joining us. We will continue to put out the information that we possibly can gather and get you correct and true information about what's happening all across America and the globe. God bless everyone.